but then they let him go home later. I love that story. General Force smiling at him, and that boy just. But back to the subject. Everything depicted a route on this march. The Confederates are following. There's broken down wagons. 39 wagons were burned here. And horses and mules' bodies are steaming. If the wagons would break down, the Federals would take their butts and their rifle, hit the poor animals between the eyes and kill them, so they wouldn't be captured. Citizens on the side of the road saying, "Push on, boys, push on." They come at a run, push on. Sam Watkins said everything depicted a route or a route, and they were bound and determined to recover this lost opportunity. Rick, where they come up to this fort, we'll wheel to our right, obviously, unless we want to go into traffic, and then wheel back to our left. See this river here is called West Harpeth. West Harpeth. December 17th, from about 3/4 of a mile that way, the retreat from Nashville. 3 rifles were found in that West Harpeth in the 1970s. Fighting through these fields. I'll show you the battle line, and then wheel to your left, Rick. Not that short way, but yeah, you know how that, yeah. Cummings, Alabama, Cummings, Georgia Brigade, and Pettus, Alabama Brigade, with the Eufaula's Alabama Battery, and Sweet's Mississippi Battery, Stanford's Mississippi Battery on this rise next to Laurel Hill, Antebellum home, December 17th, 5 p.m., storming, raining, lightning, cavalry versus infantry, and Wilson said it was the toughest fight of his life here. There's a mass grave in the back somewhere of Confederate soldiers, and they slowed them down. The Federals flanked them and then pulled back towards Spring Hill. But there, this Antebellum home here was Laurel Hill. Wilson made his headquarters there the night of December 17th, 1864, after that Battle of West Harpeth, as they call it. Right there. The Federal vanguard arrives in Franklin about 4 a.m. on November 30th and started fortifying the existing breastwork built in 1863, working on an inner line and an outer line, and knocked on the front door of the Lotes house, which is across from the Carter house, and then told the family they're going to do a little yard work. They're tearing down the wood shops and barns and place them on the trenches. The animals were screaming because they're being killed for the food. And little Matilda Lotes, whose 6th birthday party was the night before, she had a pet calf. And within eye distance, not in front of the little girl to torment her, but they didn't know. Wouldn't matter, they might take it behind a barn. But they took it within eye distance and pulled out a knife, cut its throat. Well, welcome to adulthood, little Matilda. You're 6 years old, and if you're not an adult yet, tomorrow morning you will be an adult. Your childhood is over with forever on the morning of December 1st. Your childhood's over with. And it's shaped or molded forever. Once again, Stewart's Corps in front, Cheatham's Corps following. Do you remember that Henpeck Lane? I made that terrible joke that only the men laughed on. Dying is easy, comedy's hard. But Stewart's Corps, wheels to your right, and I'll show you Henpeck Lane from this side, or to your east, down Henpeck Lane, hit the Louisville Pike, and deploy in line of battle about 500 yards behind Cardington. Cheatham's Forest Cavalry is skirmishing with the Federal infantry on these 2 hills that we'll touch on after we eat. And then Cheatham's Corps is moving on up. So Stewart's Corps, Lauren Walthall French's division, who are they? Lauren's division, Scott's Alabama Brigade, Featherston's Mississippi Brigade, Adams Mississippi Brigade. E.C. Walthall, who a great commander, was Shelley's Alabamians, Quarles Tennesseans, and Reynolds Arkansans. And French's division was Cockrell's Missouri Brigade, you hear a lot about, and Sears Mississippians, 8,000 strong, right over this rise. We're not going to take a right, Rick, but going straight, but they marched down Henpeck Lane to your east. 4 federal brigades. This is about midday. 4 federal brigades on these 2 hills. Winstead Hill to your left, Breezy Hill to your right in front of us, and there's Henpeck Lane, right there. And this road, Columbia Pike, goes right through these 2 hills. Breezy Hill to your right, Henpeck Lane to your left. Excuse me, Breezy Hill to your right, Winstead Hill to your left. And we're passing the Harrison House. That will become, see the red roof thing to your left? That's the Harrison House. That was where General Hood held his pre-battle conference meeting with his corps commanders and division commanders. Harrison House. I'll explain that after we eat. Also, it was a hospital after the battle of Franklin. Wheeler's right up here in September '63, early September. John H. Kelly was mortally wounded and died there. John C. Carter died from the Battle of Franklin there as well. So picture your wheel, forest troopers dismounted, skirmishing with Conrad Lane, Updike's Brigade, Wagner's Division, and Whitaker's Brigade of Kimball's Division. 4 brigades on these 2 hills, skirmishing. Cheatham's Corps comes up, and I'll explain all that later. Look at the valley as we come down below. Bluegrass, just like Kentucky. This is bluegrass area. Tennesseans started to cheer. Slow down, Rick. We are, let's see, the grade. We're going to pull in right over there to your left. You see those brick, all that brick, whatever, facing us? Yeah. Yeah, that's where we're going to pull in. Let's take a left here. Take a left here. There's a Mexican place, there's a barbecue place, there's a panela bread thing. That's a little frou-frou for me, but people love it. A lot of people like it. And there's a little bit of a walk to Chili's from there, but whatever. There's all kind of stuff right there. I forget what else is right there, but bar, take a left here. Mexican place, panela bread, and barbecue, and a pizza too. There's a pizza thing there too. And see where they're turning in, Rick, to your right? Then we will start, we'll play it by ear what we're going to do next after we eat. Either we're going to go up there or we'll go to Fort Granger next. It's been an honor to be with you so far. Great honor, pleasure, and privilege to be with you. And thank you so much for allowing me to be with you these 3 days. Go straight on. Our next stop, I'm elected to go to Fort Granger. How many of you have been to Fort Granger? It's a federal fort. It is 10 feet wide, 15 feet tall, earthen works, original, not recreated like Vicksburg or Donaldson. And Schofield's headquarters. And I elected to go there first because it's going to rain big time tonight. Be a muddy mess out there tomorrow. And it might be a little muddy, but still not like probably tomorrow. So I thought it'd be best to go there first. Go there first. I did this for my table, but it's a tradition. I meant to do this before you ate, but after the fact might even be better, and they'll have to hear it again. How many read the book Company Aytch, Sam Watkins? I urge you to read it. It's hilarious, it's funny, camp life, soldier's life, then not funny the battles. You get to know these people that died. He didn't keep a journal, diary, he just wrote from memory after the war. And I usually try to do this before you have lunch. But nonetheless, while stationed at this place, Chattanooga, rations were rather scarce and hard to come by. Perhaps it was economy on the part of our generals and commissaries to issue rather scant rations. About this time we learned about Pemberton's army at Vicksburg subsisting entirely on rats. Instead of the idea of being hard, however, we're glad to know that necessity is the mother of invention. The idea must have originated out of the mind of a genius. Acting upon this information, we set out rat hunting. But we couldn't find any rats, go straight. Presently we came to this old outhouse and seemed a natural harbor for this vermin. We quickly tore down the house and out jumped the oversider. Mr. Rat was old and gray. I suppose he'd been chased before, where we chased him backwards and forwards till the rat got tired of this foolishness, headed for his hole. But the rat's tail was the last thing to go in that hole. We made a graph of that tail, and tail hole broke, and the skin of that tail was left in our hands. And after a while, we caught it. We skinned him, washed him, buttered him, salted him, battered him, peppered him, and fried him. And the ratty actually looked good. The delicate aroma of fried rat came to our nostrils. We were keen for rat. Our teeth were on edge. Our mouth watered for rat. For a while they said he was done. I got me a cold corn dog here, put my little piece of rat on it, and a little piece of bread, brought that rat up to my mouth when I happened to think how that rat's tail did slip. I did not eat rat that night. I did not eat rat that morning. And that was my first and last time to ever eat a dead rat. Tastes like chicken, and I hope that made your meal wonderful. We're going to go straight through this slide.
Rattlesnake tastes like chicken.
But you don't know how they were originally, even though it's original, they wrote this place.
Behind the scenes of the full magazine, we can see that. The issue of which I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, there's this one but then down the bottom, by the way.
Look to your far right. Far right, that's the Harpeth River down the ways. That's Hughes Ford. McGavick Ford is right here. Hughes Ford is to our right. We're coming up over this rise that they now call Forest Crossing. But that's in this area we're going to go to tomorrow, I believe. Maybe we'll change. But that's where Forest crossed with 1 Confederate Cavalry Division, Red Jackson's division. We'll pass this Forest crossing on the right. We're not going to take a right, Rick. We're going to go straight. And either later on the day or tomorrow, if I can't get a bus by that bluff, because there's houses, condominiums, and rich whatever. And if we go, we might have to walk a little ways, but it won't be as hard of a walk as going up that hill today. That's a fact. I believe you're gonna. There's only a couple of people have been up to Fort Granger, correctly? Is that correct? You're gonna enjoy that a great deal. And does anyone know who Fort Granger was named for? Yes, named for General Gordon Granger. I'll tell you more when we get there. It was built in 1863, from February to April 63. 1863.
Right around the time.
Yes, because that's April 10th, 63. Yes, sir. They fired on some force command coming around Louisville.
Is this the guy who was screwing around?